Hey guys, welcome into this segment from our full-length The Onside Kick podcast. In order to get the full podcast, go down to the description, go to Blog Talk Radio / The Onside Kick to download the full thing. Enjoy, everybody. And finally, Mark, we're going to move into our last topic, NFL Draft, here on the podcast. And we're talking about the Arizona Cardinals, and I am sorry to Cardinal fans on the podcast anniversary. I am just giving you one more jab of that kiss of death to end the season. I'm sorry I gave that to you guys. I really thought you guys were going to be playing the Patriots and winning over the Patriots in Super Bowl Lee. Guess I was wrong. I'll get someone new next time. But what we're talking about here on the podcast is quarterbacks. We're always talking quarterbacks when it comes to the draft, it seems like.
Yep.
And the Cardinals could be in for a new one because Brandon Swanson shared on Twitter last week after we had recorded the onside kick for last week that Pro Football Talk reported that Carson Palmer pulled his kids out of school and moved out of Arizona. So, Mark, I almost called you Brandon. Mark, I'm going to ask you this. Is Carson Palmer not going to be a Cardinal next year? Is he going to retire? And are the Cardinals going to look for a quarterback at number 13th overall in the draft?
Well, they're in a good spot to get a quarterback because that 13th overall pick, I really do think that people will actually kind of hold off on drafting one of those quarterbacks. Unless there's one of these trades where people start moving back up. I do think that they will kind of hold off a little bit. Carson Palmer, with this move and pulling his children out, whatever the hell it might mean, I think that, sure, it's certainly a sign that he could be done, but I think that sign's been there for a little while now. If it is, I don't necessarily, if he's going to retire, I don't necessarily see what he's waiting for to say it. Just go ahead and make that announcement. It's not like your team did anything that great to where there's much to come back for. He's 37 years old. When you want to take a look at Carson Palmer, he had some great years, of course, in Cincinnati, down years in Oakland, came back with Arizona. Hasn't ever really played at the level he's played at Arizona before. I mean, this was completely new for him. But at the same time, 37 years old, I don't know if he's got it in him to do more. I mean, not everybody can be Tom Brady who says he's going to play till he's 80. So
I thought it was 100 now.
It could be.
I thought he's playing until 100 now.
It could be. He's got to get more rings. So
he got to hit 20, bruh.
I don't know. I find it hard to speculate on this just because you know it's hard to say when one of these guys are gonna call it. But if he does, I think the Cardinals are in a great position to get one of these guys.
They have to. If he calls it, they have to. And right now,
unless they can get Jimmy Garoppolo
in my mock draft,
that's your guy.
I mentioned this. I said they could do one of three things. One, they can draft a solid number 2 corner to pair up with Patrick Peterson. I want to call him Patrick Patterson, mixing the NBA and NFL guys. Patrick Peterson. They could, 2, draft a quarterback to take over for veteran Carson Palmer. Or 3, they could draft a solid inside linebacker. And I immediately said, since Carson Palmer is officially still a Cardinal, they're not going with option 2. You're going to have to see my mock draft. It's going to be out later this week. By the time this is up on YouTube, it may be up. For Blog Talk, if you're listening later this week, my mock draft will be up. I just got to finish tinkering some things. But, yeah, if he's on the roster, they're not going to go quarterback. But as soon as, if he says, no, I'm done, or if they get closer to the draft and think, you know what, he's probably going to walk, they might end up having to say, fuck it, we have to.
The thing to think about, though, is if they like one of these top guys, whether it's Watson, Kaiser,
are you gonna say just take
Trubisky,
him?
I do say just take him because, like I said, Palmer's 37 years old. He hasn't won you a Super Bowl yet. Is he going to do it? Potentially. Next year, who knows? Maybe they can win the Super Bowl next year. But he's not getting any younger. He could retire at any time. And you got to have one of these guys. What you don't want is what you have right now of Carson Palmer saying, hey, guys, I'm done. And you're going, shit, now we don't have a quarterback. All right, let's go to the draft and hope we get something. Paxton Lynch in Denver, where he wasn't ready and really was not ready. So that's what you can't let happen. But we just talked about Jimmy Garoppolo for so long. Here's a great spot for Jimmy Garoppolo to go in that case. If they want to do
team.
Yeah, if they want to do the not draft route. If they want to say, you know what, we'll get that corner and then let's trade a second and fourth and fifth, whatever it might be, for Jimmy Garoppolo. If they have more faith in him, if they don't love Watson, if they don't love Kaiser, whatever it might be, that might be the better route to go for the Cardinals.
Well, and one of the things that I do when I look at my mock draft, not to give out any huge kind of spoilers, but I will say this. Until the Cardinal pick, only one quarterback went in front of the Cardinals, and it was Mitch Trubisky. So in my mock draft, they could take Deshaun Watson at 13. However, they didn't because Carson Palmer is, like I said, still officially a Cardinal. But, I mean, to me, this is the same situation that we've talked about with these quarterbacks of at 13, I think the biggest need for the Cardinals is, and I'm probably playing my hand here, but is inside linebacker. Like, I think a guy like Reuben Foster, if he's there, go ahead and take him. Hint. But he's the guy I take. Like, the thing on defense, like, I want a strong middle linebacker here if I can think I can get, like, a Pat Mahomes, or depending on how a Webb Davis or Davis Webb, the guy out of Cal, or a Nate Peterman, or if any of the quarterbacks I think I can get second or third, go ahead and just take the defensive guy, take the linebacker at 13.
Yeah, but the problem you have in that case, if Palmer does retire, is that then Drew Stanton is your starting quarterback. And you've already gone down that road. You know how that plays out, and it's not that well. So you're kind of stuck in that case unless you're, maybe Hoyer leaves the Bears and he's a decent stopgap, although not that much better than Drew Stanton. Whatever that kind of gap quarterback might be, a Christian Ponder or something like that. This is the worst case scenario you want to be in, the surprise retirement. Although really, the Cardinals should have been preparing for this for a while.
And Davis Webb, that was the name I was looking for, guy out of Cal.
I think that the Arizona Cardinals, they really should have been preparing for this a little bit more than they seemingly have been, because just simple age. Not everybody can be Tom Brady. Not everybody can be Peyton Manning.
Could you imagine Fitzmagic in a Cardinal uniform?
I mean, it would basically be the same thing that he had in New York of like, hey, I got weapons. Look at this. I got people I can throw the ball to.
Except Michael Floyd, because now he won a ring.
Yeah, he got a ring. He was drinking and driving and got rewarded for it with a Super Bowl ring. Yeah,
got a ring.
Yeah.
Aggressively got a ring.
Yeah, look at that, NFL. Good job. So, so I don't know. I feel bad for Larry Fitzgerald is what it comes down to. That's I say it all the time. He's the most loyal guy. Very similar to Calvin Johnson. Very loyal, sticking with his team. The best thing that his team has really had in pretty much ever, and isn't going to get anything to show for it. Absolutely nothing to show for it. Besides his, I guess, fame in the area.
And the one thing I had to look at is Larry Fitzgerald. God, messing up names now.
It's late. It's a late night.
He won the Walter Payton Award this year. It was him and Eli, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was him, Eli, and then I feel bad. Greg Olsen didn't get to win.
Yeah, well, you know what? You should have stayed in Chicago. Even though it wasn't his choice. He should have stayed in Chicago. Should have made it happen.
But they were named co-winners of the Walter Payton Man of the Year Award.
Well, they just wanted to put Eli out there on the field that,
for Super Bowl.
For Tom Brady.
Goodell's like, let's get Eli out there. Anything. Get Eli out there.
Maybe he'll rub his magic off.
It's like the guy from Mallrats, the bald dad, where he's like, get him out there. He's got like the walkie-talkie. Go. When they're doing their like show thing. You never seen Mallrats?
I don't know. I get what you mean, but that's such a just random reference to make, especially within Mallrats. There's so many better references you can make.
You guys don't like Mallrats? Like, what reference would you make?
Well, to this situation, there's nothing that works. But I don't think that situation really works either. I just think when people are talking about Mallrats, they're talking about, the utility belt of dildos. They're talking about the Wolverine with the claws. They're talking about the magic. Chocolate pretzels, of course. Busting in on who's the chick that they keep busting in on, and they keep seeing her changing.
I don't remember.
But or the three nipples.
Yeah.
You ask if I've seen Mallrats. I've seen Mallrats.
I had to test Mark's knowledge there, but this is going to be the shortest probably segment of the podcast. Just to end it clean and simple is. You are now drafting. Congratulations, Mark. You're the GM of the Arizona Cardinals.
All right.
13 pick rolls around, and you go where? What position?
Do I know if Carson Palmer is retiring or not? What do I know? What's my amount of knowledge?
You know what you know right now.
I know what I know right now. Every quarterback on the board?
Sure.
All right. If every quarterback's on the board, yeah, I'll draft a quarterback.
What if Mitch Trubisky's off the board?
I will still draft a quarterback.
What if the top two are off the board? Would you take Deshaun Kaiser at 13 is basically what I'm saying.
No, I wouldn't.
Would you trade back to
you know what? Actually,
Deshaun
I would
Kaiser
probably
later?
put Kaiser over Trubisky.
Then would you trade Trubisky at 13?
No, I would not.
Would you trade back to accumulate picks and maybe get Trubisky?
I'd think about it. It had to be a good deal.
Reuben Foster, that's who I'm picking. If you know Carson Palmer's on your roster, you go with that inside linebacker. At this point, if Carson Palmer retires beforehand, you're handcuffed. You got to go with the quarterback position when it comes to that. But I want to thank you guys for either watching the Onside Kick or listening here on Blog Talk Radio, iTunes, and Stitcher. I want you guys to leave me a comment down below. What would you do if you were the Cardinals? Would you draft a quarterback, inside linebacker, corner? Is there a different position you think the Cardinals need to hit? Go follow us on Twitter at @Mark at Ricky Widmer, at Most Valuable Pod. Make sure to check out patreon.com/Most Valuable Podcast. You like what we're doing here? You want to see the production value go up? Make sure to check that out. $1 gets you an exclusive Patreon podcast each and every month. Want to thank you guys one more time for listening and watching. And as always, have a good day, everybody. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed that segment from the Onside Kick. If you think the fun stops there, you're wrong, because click the video right over here. What are you thinking? Come on, click it. It's going to go away. It's going to go away. Bye, everybody.